So I wanted to show you what our numbers look like. I'll actually share my screen here and show you what our pro forma is. Here's one of our pretty typical deals that one of our partners will do. As we are looking at the numbers, you'll see all of my expenses in a line item form, and then what our preferred lender, our SBA lender, is doing as far as fees and all those kind of things. You'll be able to see all of that to know if your deal was very similar to this. Here's the capital you would need to close. Here's what your potential profit would be. You'd be able to see, here's everything. So this is our memory care mansion financial pro forma. This is the actual tool that I use when I'm going through and building my own mansions. This is the same tool that our partners use as they are looking at this. So here's a plug and play thing where, I mean, you can literally come in probably 5 minutes, throw in a few pieces of information and know exactly what your numbers are going to be. So I'm on the front page, which is the parameters page here. And then I'm able to fill in all these different things, and then I can push forward to the different sheets below. So here is what we're looking at here. Starting on this side, these 3 items in blue are really the biggest variables that you have for your deal, comparing one deal to the next. So you have your land cost. So I have $250,000 in here. And then I have my actual building costs. So I'm paying $170 per square foot for just the building, not the land, not the site work. All right, so about 1.7 million here for each of my mansions, about 100,000 there for site work, and then you have the land. So those 3 things right there, that adds up to what am I putting in hard costs into my building. Then I have my plans and permits, my architectural stuff. There is a 10% builder overage fee in here. There is a third-party engineer kind of supervision fee. I have about 12 months of working capital estimated based on the funds that I'm going to borrow for this deal. And then I have my FF&E, all my furniture and stuff, about 65 grand, my appraisal, environmental, the bank's legal fees, doc prep fees, title, surveys, etc., my SBA guarantee fee, and then my lease-up reserves. This is the money that I'm going to borrow after I have my license, as I'm still not stabilized yet. That's all right here. And then I have working capital. So that puts me at about 2.88 million for this total all in. And again, these are my hard costs up here going into the building and the land, about $2 million per mansion. So as I continue to push forward, we're going to be looking at this from 16 beds here at $8,000 per bed. That's what I'm at currently. We'll walk through a 5% vacancy, $13 per day per resident for food. This will push forward into year 2 through 5, the expense inflation and the income inflation. Here is my mortgage. Right now we are at Wall Street Journal Prime plus a certain number there. So Prime right now is high, and this will be something that changes and really makes a huge difference on it. But you'll see even at this crazy high rate what the potential profit is, and potentially a year from now, you're making an extra 2-3 grand on this kind of stuff. So our lender, again, they're lending 85%. So you see all this flow forward. Here's the loan amount here. And then your total capital to close of about 400 grand. So you fill in all this parameter stuff, move to the payroll sheet here. And really there's just 3 different groups of people on my payroll. I have caregivers, my manager, and my chef. So here's how this rolls. And it's all split up month by month. So we'll take a look here. On month 3, I have my full team here, right? So I have my caregivers. This is $18 an hour times 30 days a month times 24 hours a day times 2 caregivers. So there's 2 caregivers 24/7 every day of the year. Then I have a house manager. This manager is set at $65,000 a year in salary. And then I have a chef at $20 an hour, about 45 hours a week. It adds in payroll taxes down here. So my total wages are just shy of about $39,000. This is not showing any owner salary in this right here. So this will all push forward. Here's my amortization sheet. So I have my about $21,000 a month for the building. And again, it's at 9.25% on this 2.4 million. And then if I push back over here, this is my month by month itemized expenses. So you can see up here at the top is my income, and it's set month 1 through month 12 here. So I can show here's exactly when I'm stabilized. I can look at it from there. And then over here on the side is year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have my income over here at the top. All right, so essentially $8,000 times how many beds I have full. And then so I'm showing that I have 3 beds, 6 beds, 9 beds, 12 beds, 15 beds, 16 beds. And then once it hits 16, then my vacancy factor hits. Okay, so here's my income. It's showing 95% occupancy at $121,000 per month, minus my full staffing gives me this gross profit of $82,820. And then it starts looking at all of my operating expenses. So you have mortgage here at the top. This is filled in from our calculator. These first 6 months, you borrowed that mortgage payment, right? It's in that parameters formula, so you don't have to spend that money there. So it makes a huge difference because you're not losing a lot of money. You're actually pretty much making money. You're making a lot of money because you're not spending that money on the front side. You've pre-borrowed it. So you could start making that payment earlier if you wanted to. So let's look at month 7. Month 7's fully stabilized, right? So then it's going to go through. It has my taxes here. That's a formula. Here's my insurance, my liability insurance for the operations company, my workman's comp. So these are literally right now my hard expenses. Every single line item that I go through with my bookkeeper and CPA is right here. Here's what I spend on an average for the year. Then I have water, electric, sewer, landscaping, exterminator. Here's all my utility stuff. My bookkeeping, here's my groceries. This is a formula based on $13 a day per resident. $600 to $6,500 is realistically what I spend for groceries. And we have some fantastic food. Household supplies and PPEs, activities, networking, hiring and onboarding, uniforms, internet, and then repairs. So all of those things are listed out there. And if you are new to this and you don't know what your numbers are going to be, just start with these numbers. This is legitimately what I'm spending right now. So this section here, not counting the building, but realistically this stuff right here, I budget out, I split about $15,000 a month to handle all of these things on my operations side. So this gives me this profit of almost $46,000 per month. And that's with vacancy, and it's with a full-time manager, it's with full-time staff, and it's with all these little detailed itemized expenses. So my goal is to hit $500,000 a year and work 4 hours a week. This is the numbers that gets me there. This has the manager to be able to do it. I could come back actually and I could say, hey, you know what? If I wanted to add a second manager in here, I could change this, add another $5,000 or so a month, or maybe an assistant manager, add about another $3,000 a month, and still be over 40 grand, have 2 full-time managers, and really never get any calls, never really have to show up. So that is ultimately my goal here. This is the system that gets me to my financial freedom and my time freedom. So I hope this provides some clarity on the numbers. I want to stress how important that income is. I can only do all these things because of the income. I want to have a higher bed rate and I want to have 16 rooms. If I have 6 rooms or if I have 8 rooms, I will for sure not even come close to covering the expenses that I need.